Hello everybody, I'm Timmy here, and welcome to the next episode of Chilling3000 Hangouts, number 124 on this 27th of March, 2024, on this Wednesday evening or afternoon, wherever you're at in the world, or maybe even in the morning. Um, this is episode 124, and in this episode, we are going to be interviewing Connor Newcomb, who he is an Orioles fan for Baltimore, and he and I are going to discuss what the Orioles are going to be doing this season, or thoughts on what the Orioles can do this season. As I just filmed this interview about a month ago, um, while I was during my week off, February break. Um, I believe that was when I recorded. I can't remember, but I knew it was sometime around there. Just got done um watching some college baseball earlier today, Northeastern UConn. And I had some waffles for dinner and did the promotion. Now I'm all set, ready to go. So the William and Godfather, hope you stick around because not only we have this interview here in store for you all, but later on in the program, in about 40 minutes, around 6:45 p.m., we'll be doing a hangout session. My with the guests that I have decided to invite on my own time here, and we are going to be doing the hangout session, talk about whatever is going on in our minds until 7:30. Well, not maybe not exactly at 7:30, but around 7:30, and I'll just be we just talk about whatever, and also promoting what we need to promote. I'll be asking whatever is going on in their lives, and it should be a good time. And as if there is going to be another episode next week, I'm not 100% sure because after this week, I am going to see if I want to continue this program, um, for the next couple of months because I'm going to see what these two previous episodes do for ratings and also the quality of the stream for the episodes. If I have to make any changes or anything, so I'm going to see what what this episode brings, and if it does successful, um, what these two episodes here, then I will continue this show bi-weekly. Um, if not, I will renew the show in the summertime. I may have fixed one or two things here and there, but that is to be announced here. So without further ado, I'll see you guys in about 40 minutes or so, and I'll have some great guests here with you all for the hangout session with my good friends here. So without further ado, let's play the interview. Hello everybody, I'm Debbie here, and I'm here with my next guest, and it's the host of Knockdown O's podcast, and it's Connor Newcomb. How are you doing, Connor?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome. So let's get started with the interview here by tell us a little bit about yourself, Connor.
Yeah, so host of the Locked on Orioles podcast. Been doing it for about 4 years, over 4 years now, with a sports broadcasting background. Been an Orioles fan my entire life. But the podcast is, it's been fun. The Orioles were not good at all when I started this podcast, and now things have certainly turned around, which has definitely made it a lot more enjoyable over the last year or two.
Yeah, so tell us about your broadcaster background that you mentioned.
Yeah, so did it in college at the University of Maryland. Was a play-by-play broadcaster, and my senior year, I worked as the radio voice for Maryland's baseball team, and got to travel around with the team that season, which was nice. And then after I graduated, I had a bunch of different roles in broadcasting. I called games in minor league baseball for the Hagerstown Suns, which used to be the low A affiliate of the Nationals. That team no longer exists. I called games in some summer collegiate leagues. I called games at Johns Hopkins University. I still do a lot of high school sports in the Baltimore area. But that kind of led me to this back in 2020.
Pretty cool. So how did you get the hosting duties for Locked On Orioles?
Yes, I've been doing that for 4 years, and it's a it's a cool gig, honestly. I mean, it's a lot of work. That's the big thing. It is
Yeah.
five. There's not a lot of podcasts doing 5 episodes a week, and so although those episodes are shorter, they're only about 30 minutes. There's a lot of
Hmm.
podcasts that go an hour, 2 hours sometimes. It's still 5 days a week. Now it makes it easier for baseball because during the season there's a game pretty much every night, so you always have something to talk
Yes.
about. But it's a little bit of a grind, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I love doing the podcast, but there's certain days where the Orioles lose 7-1 and there's nothing else going on. And you're just like, do people really want to hear me talk about this game? But most of
Yeah.
the time it's still fun to do even 5 days a week.
And how did you get the hosting duties for the program? Like, how did they, the Locked On Sports Network contact with you?
Yeah. So the network has shows for pretty much every professional sports team. And there was a
Mhm.
previous host of Locked On Orioles. I believe the podcast itself started in 2018.
Okay.
And then someone hosted it kind of on and off for about 2 years. And then in 2020, they left. And I just saw a posting online that was just, hey, it was the network and they were looking for hosts for like Locked On Orioles, Locked On Marlins, and I think Locked On Fantasy Baseball. And they were like, anyone who's interested, apply. And it was really just me applying. I got an interview and ended up getting it. Now it was weird timing because I got it at the end of January of 2020. And a month and a half later, the
Yeah.
world shut down basically. And with that, baseball shut down. And so it was definitely an interesting challenge when I first got it because I was like, oh, I've got this new podcast. I can try all these things out. It's going to be great. And then they're not playing baseball for 4 months once you get the podcast. So it was certainly
Hmm.
a transition year. But yeah, it was just seeing an opening, applying for it, and I ended up getting it.
Pretty cool. Now let's get to some Orioles baseball here. Of course, I'm a Red Sox fan, and I've known the Orioles from when they are good and when they are bad because the Red Sox used to always go to Camden Yards and beat them in very close games or very blowout games. Um, but however, for the past couple of years, since I believe towards of I don't know how exactly they started to go into the right direction, but Alex Cora did say at the end of 2021 when they started to get back into the right direction. What's your thoughts on the Orioles on how you think when did they exactly start to head to the right direction of being that playoff compatible team?
Yeah, I think the moment that a lot of people point to is early in the 2022 season when they
Yeah.
called up Adley Rutschman. I mean, most people thought he was going to be on the opening day roster that year, and then he got a little bit of a tricep injury. It kept him out for a while. And in
Oh, that's
mid-May,
why. Okay.
he was finally healthy in mid-May. And he was probably healthy a little earlier than that, maybe in early May, but they waited a little bit. They called him up. And from that moment, it was just a different team. And the Orioles didn't make the playoffs that year, but they had 110 losses in 2021. They called Adley up
Yes.
and they had a winning record in 2022. So that was really, and it's not every team can say that, oh, we called up our top prospect and all of a sudden things change. Usually it takes more than that. But for the
Yeah.
Orioles, it wasn't all Adley. Obviously, other players were playing well, but that was like the moment that things just switched for the Orioles, and it's been a very different team ever since.
Yes. Ever since that catcher got called up, it changed everything. It changed for the organization. It changed, Camden Yards forever. I think because now just a few years, a few months towards the end of the season, um, we got news that they're going to be staying in Camden Yards for another 30 years. So I believe what Alan Rushman did for getting called up, changing the team completely to an 83-79 record in 2022, and then a year later, making that winning the AL East with over 101 wins. Um, that's pretty incredible, and I truly believe that Richmond saved the Orioles completely and saved Camping Yards forever.
Yeah, he certainly did. And the best part was, the thing that helps you is it wasn't like, oh, we've got Rutschman here and that's it, and we're going to build around him and we have to add other players. Like they continued to have guys come up after him. So Adley Rutschman came up and he was great, but then Gunnar Henderson came up later that year and he was great. And then Grayson Rodriguez came up last year and it took him a little bit, but he was great by the end of the season. And now this year it's going to be Jackson Holliday, which was another number one prospect in
Jackson
all of
Holiday,
baseball.
yes.
And they just continue to have guys that are filling in this roster. That's the big part. Like Adley can do all he can, but especially in baseball, you need help. It can't just be one guy. We've seen that from the Angels. You can't just have Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani. It doesn't mean you're going to be good. And the Orioles just continue to have player after player come up from the minors and help them out.
They have to develop those players, take their time, go through the process. And also, along the way, get some of those big free agents, like what the Orioles did this past season, and that is getting Pitcher Burns from, sorry, this is string of thought, Milwaukee, I believe. And that's how you win ball games right there. I believe what Jackson Holliday is going to do this season for the Orioles, him being shortstop and at second base. I've never really seen him play before, but except for the spring training a little bit. What do you think of what he could do this season for the first time?
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be this year like, any kind of MVP level player. I'm not even sure if he'll win Rookie of the Year this year, but I think he's going to be a really solid contributor. He's probably going to play mostly second base for the Orioles this year just because Gunnar Henderson has been so good at shortstop. But I think him at second base, and I think the great thing for Jackson Holliday is, I mentioned when Adley Rutschman was the number one prospect and he came up and there was a lot of pressure on him. Like that team was really bad when Rutschman came up and he kind of turned them around. Yes. Holliday won't have that kind of pressure on it because this team is already good. No. This team already has multiple stars and Holliday can come up and you know what? He might hit 8th or 7th in the lineup, and that's going to be okay. There's going to be pressure off of him. He doesn't have to hit 350. He doesn't have to hit 30 home runs in his first year. He just has to be a solid player, and I think that's really going to help him because there's not going to be a lot of pressure on him this year. It's just going to be, hey, come up, play some second base, help us out at the bottom of the order, and then a couple years down the line, that's when hopefully he becomes a superstar as well.
Yeah, just being average hitter. That's all you need from him. He doesn't need to hit 30 home runs on the RBIs. He doesn't need to do that. All he needs to do is hit average and draw RBIs and just have a good average over 300 for the year. And I think that'll be an accomplishment for him this season for that mission. So, what's next here? What do you when you first heard that the Orioles were selling their team, what was your reaction to that when you first heard that news?
I mean, I was excited. I mean, just because I've been pretty open on my podcast with disdain for, still the current owner. Sale hasn't gone through completely yet. So John Angelos is still technically the owner, but he hasn't been good for this team, for this organization, or for Baltimore. And a lot of it has just been an unwillingness to spend money. And baseball is so different from any other sport because your owner's willingness to spend money really impacts the team. There's no salary cap. You can spend kind of as much as you want. And with David Rubenstein and his group taking over, I mean, Rubenstein, first and foremost, just has more money than John Angelos does. He has more than double the money than Angelos does in terms of his net worth. And with the things that Rubenstein has done in his life and how he spent his money, it seems like he won't have an issue spending his money on the Orioles. So it was excitement. And I get that, you don't know what Rubenstein's going to do. We have no idea how he's going to operate. He's never owned a sports team until now. But it at times got so bad with Angelos where he was just making a fool of himself every time he spoke to the media and was saying again and again how he wasn't going to extend his young players and lock them up for years to come, that it seems like it has to get better. And that's the hope here in the next couple of weeks when the sale will officially be finalized.
And I hope something can get that. Hopefully, that can get through by around at least before May, at the very least, or opening day, whenever, because we're airing this on April 20th, which is officially opening day for MLB for the Dodgers Padres series. But that's besides the point. And what made you be a long-time Orioles fan? Is it because you're from Baltimore, Maryland, or how did you get into the Orioles?
Yeah, so I grew up in Maryland. Born there. I've lived there my whole life. I grew up outside the city, in the Baltimore suburbs, but I now live in Baltimore and have for the last few years. But that was my family's team. That was the team we grew up rooting for. My parents were both at the game when Cal Ripken Jr. tied the record for consecutive games played, and that is a family tradition to love the Orioles, and that continued into me. And I was into other sports, like, we like the Ravens and, we cheered for other teams, but I just got into baseball more than any other sport. And that combined with being an Orioles fan and playing baseball my entire life as well, really made it easy to root for the O's. And listen, when I was growing up, like, that was the bad, dark days of the Orioles. Like you mentioned,
Yes.
being a Red Sox fan, when I was growing up, that was when the Red Sox finally broke the curse in 04.
Yeah.
And then they won again in 07. And then we had to watch them win again in 2013. And most of that time, I was watching terrible Orioles teams. And finally, in my teenage years, Buck Showalter and Adam Jones and JJ Hardy and Matt Wieters, and they finally turned things around. But for most of my life, I mean, I loved the Orioles and they did not love me back. They were losing 90 games a year pretty regularly. And it was just, there was no direction for the team. So it was nice that it finally paid off, that I got to see some winning teams. And the thing is, like, I never got to see a 100-win team until last year. So, the fandom is kind of continuing to build as I cover this team every day and do this podcast.
Yeah, in 2014 is when they got back to the playoffs after so long. 2015, 2016, pretty much the same, run goes, and then, fortunately the Blue Jays, gone. But then again, last year was a magical season for the Orioles. I mean, that's one of the best seasons of all time, over 100 wins. It's just the question is, will they get into a deeper run into the postseason? I do hope so as a Red Sox fan, because they do deserve going deep to the postseason. To make a statement. You know what I'm saying? And I know you can agree with me on that.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the hope. It was such a weird year because there was, like, when you win 101 games, like, that's an unforgettable season. Not a lot of teams win over 100 games, but you get the flip side of, they didn't even win one playoff game. They got swept out of the ALDS and they were done. We didn't even get to see them win one playoff game. So would I trade, if you could tell me, hey, the Orioles will win 90 games this year, but they'll win some playoff games, I would take that as a trade, because you always want to get further into the postseason. And I think they addressed one of the big things, which was Kyle Bradish was amazing last year, but the Orioles pitching staff was just a little too inexperienced and they just didn't have that playoff ace. And you mentioned it already, they went and got Corbin Burns this offseason. I think that was like the number one move for, hey, we think that even without Corbin Burns, we're a playoff team. But we think with Corbin Burns, we can win a World Series.
And with Batista out, they got Kimbrel. What do you think of him coming to your team?
And that's another guy, Kimbrel now is not what Kimbrel used to be, but that is an experienced closer. Yeah, that is an experienced closer who's been in the postseason, who's also going to help him there as well. Because you can't replace Bautista. That's how good he was. But it was nice to see them go and get a guy like Kimbrel, who's probably going to be a Hall of Famer, and to get him at the end of your bullpen.
Yeah, Kimbrel's been there, done that. Of course, he started his career in Atlanta, and then went to Boston, 19 for 3 3 years, and then you know went to the Cubs, struggled there, went to the White Sox. I'm just looking at some of the reference Dodgers and Phillies. I mean, the Dodgers are pretty much the only team that can win 100 games whenever they want, which is absolutely crazy. I mean, the billion dollar Dodgers is something everybody talks about. What are your thoughts on their crazy offseason?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to get better, right? Who would have thought they could get better? But
Yeah.
they signed, you could argue the best two players that were available in free agency this year in Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Shohei Ohtani, and they signed them both. And even though Otani's not going to pitch this year, he's still going to be one of the best hitters in baseball. And then starting next year, he's going to be a pitcher again as well. And Yamamoto looks awesome. And I mean, this, as far as I can remember back being a baseball fan, like this to me is the largest World Series favorite I can remember. Just a team that so many people believe is going to win the World
Mm-hmm.
Series. And it doesn't always work out like that. You know, the baseball postseason, crazy
No.
things happen. But this team is so,
Yes.
so talented. And to add Shohei Ohtani and to add Yamamoto and to add Tyler Glass now, I mean, it's just ridiculous what they did this offseason.
Last
The
night.
hope is, as an Orioles fan, if the Orioles can get to the World Series, you just hope somebody over there in the National League can knock the Dodgers out before the World Series. Because if it's anybody but the Dodgers and the Orioles get to the World Series, I feel pretty good about that. If it's the Dodgers, that's a different story.
Yeah, but the problem is with the Dodgers, they win 100 games and they lose to in the postseason in the first or second round. I mean, 2020 was the only exception. But then again, it was 60 games. But people can give their opinions if their 2020 season was fake or not. What do you think? Was that season fake for the Dodgers in 2020, or was it real? Because every team has same rules.
Yeah, I mean, the regular season was weird, but I don't think like the postseason took anything away because really you had to do more in the postseason that year. Because remember, there were more playoff teams. They took
Yeah,
16 playoff teams. They took 8 teams from each league. So you had to win more games actually to win a World Series. So yeah, it was a very weird season, but it was almost a little more impressive what they did in the postseason. But it's definitely weird that that team's been so good for so long. And the only time they've won is that just very, very odd
yeah,
2020 season. I think they really need to win one in one of these first years with Otani to just show that, like, all right, all of this has paid off. We've gotten multiple World Series. Like, we are truly a dominant team. And there's definitely people who think, oh, that one doesn't count, win one in a 162 game season. I don't necessarily think that, but there's definitely people that think that.
yeah. Because their history. I mean, ever since 2014 or 13, well, one of those 2 years, they been in the playoffs, and their history explains it all. So that's why people think different ways. But I mean, look at the Lakers in the NBA. I don't know if you watch the NBA. I watched the NBA and NHL myself, but they don't complain, I guess, about the Lakers winning the NBA championship in 2020. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was all weird that year. So, um, but people have their own opinions, and leave it up to them. So, um, do you have a routine of guests for your like? Do you have any players from the Orioles come on your podcast, or coaches, or whatever you desire?
Yeah, sometimes, I mean, actually, when we're recording this a couple of hours ago, I had a minor league player on, Keegan Gillies, who's a pitcher in the Orioles minor league system. I had on the show. It's not usual for me. A lot of it's because the way the show works is sometimes not conducive to having a lot of guests on, just because it's 5 days a week. So when you host a podcast that lasts longer and you can get into more conversations, it's much easier to have guests. But I'm going 5 days a week, and every day I have to at least spend one segment recapping the game from the night before. And so
Yes.
there's not a lot of space to interview players and coaches. I do it a lot more in the off season, I will say, than I do during the season, just because it's a lot easier in the off season. But I've had some minor league players. I've never had a current major league player, but I've had minor league players and minor league coaches on the show.
Okay.
And I've had a couple of minor leaguers who eventually made it to the big leagues as well, like Nick Vespi and Thomas Eshelman on the show too. So yeah, it's cool to hear from them and kind of hear their journeys and what they work on. But it is hard to get a lot of guests just because, that game ends and I'm recording the show, and it's
Yeah.
hard to get other people's schedules on the podcast just because it's so frequent.
Yeah, I agree. If you can predict one Baltimore Oriole that could win the AL MVP this year, what will it be and who will it be and why?
It would be Gunnar Henderson. I think if he can build off what he did last year to win AL Rookie of the Year, he has a real shot. The power's there. He hits for average. He gets on base. He plays really good defense at shortstop and third. And it always helps to be on a good team, right? That always helps you win the MVP. Now, Shohei Ohtani's been a little different because he's so good. But a big thing for the American League this year is Shohei Ohtani is no longer in the American League. So there are a lot of guys that have a better chance of winning the MVP this season in the AL. And I think Gunnar Henderson's got that best shot. He's just such a special player.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because, like I said, Ohtani is in the National League and the billion-dollar Dodgers. So, with that in mind, Mike Trout is having injury issues with his back. I won't be surprised that he has half a season again for Mike Trout, and that's going to cause some MVP votes. Aaron Judge, he has a toe issue, but if he can stay healthy, he could win the MVP. But he has to deal with that toe issue. So the American League, like you said, is a little bit more wide open, and since this past year, we've been seeing changes for that. So I think it's going to be very interesting for the AL MVP this year. It's going to be interesting. So who do you think will be the Orioles' ace this year?
Yeah, it's got to be Corbin Burns. I mean, they traded for him to do that job. He's one of the 5 best pitchers, I think, in Major League Baseball. And they're not going to have Kyle Bradish for a while, who was their ace last year. He's, got a UCL sprain. He's getting PRP injections. They're hoping he'll pitch this year, but he is not going to be ready for opening day. So the easy answer is Corbin Burns. That's what they brought him in to do.
What was the contract for Burns?
Yeah, so he's a free agent after this year. They traded for him. He's got just 1 year left. Yeah, so they went out and got him, and they'll pay him. I think he gets 15 or 16 million this year, and then, I mean, we'll see. Hopefully, the new Orioles ownership, is willing to offer him a contract that could get him to come back after this year. But it's kind of a move for, we think we can win the World Series this season, and even if we have Burns for 1 year, we're going to go get him.
Okay. Well, we'll see how things go with that. And for the pitcher who just torn his UCL, what's his contract like?
Yeah, Kyle Bradish. I mean, he's got four years of team control left, I believe. So he'll be around even once he comes back. The question is, will he have to get Tommy John surgery? That's the big question. We don't know the answer right now. If all goes well, he could avoid surgery. He could be back in the second half of this season. If things go poorly, he could get Tommy John, and he might be out for the next 2 years. You just never know. So it's kind of walking on pins and needles with Kyle Bradish right now.
Similar to one of the Red Sox starters right now, but only time will tell. How much research do you look at recently on your Orioles minor league system? Like, do you cover the minor leagues a lot from time to time, or how do you get to know the players better, both minor league and major league?
Yeah, for the minor leagues, I definitely used to cover them more a couple years ago when the Orioles were really bad. Like those years, 2021, for example, when the Orioles lost 110 games, it was really hard to talk about the major league team 5 days a week because there was not a lot going on that was fun to watch. And so a lot of the fun was Adley Rutschman and Gunnar Henderson and Grayson Rodriguez and all these guys who are now in the major leagues. They were all in the minor leagues back then. And so it was much more talking about them. And it was also much easier to follow the minors because the players I wanted to watch were in AA and AAA and not in the big leagues, to be honest. Like that's how bad that Orioles team was. But now
Yes.
it's a little different. The major league team is so good that I don't spend as much time on the podcast covering the minor leagues. I try to, at the very least, touch on something minor league wise once a week, and then have
Okay.
maybe a more minor league focused episode at least once a month on the podcast, just to keep. Now it used to be much more than that when the major league team was worse, but I do listen to another Orioles podcast called Orioles on the Verge, which just basically almost exclusively covers the Orioles minor league system, and they really help me keep up. And I do have MILB TV, so I'll throw on a Bowie Bay Sox
Yeah.
game or a Norfolk Tides game, which is the AA and AAA teams for the Orioles, just because even though most of the good prospects are in the big leagues, there are still more coming for the Orioles, and it's nice to watch them from time to time.
Yeah. Minor league baseball is great for those reasons. Um, Now, when you do your bonus podcast, do you actually watch 162 games a year, or do you actually watch at least 140, 150 a year? How does that go?
Yeah. Yeah, I've gotten this question before. It's definitely possible, I think, to watch all 162 games in a season, but it's not easy. And I don't think I've ever watched all 162 games of any Orioles season. It's just sometimes it's on 7 days a week. And sometimes you have something to do between 7 and 10, on a Tuesday night. Just happens sometimes. However, I would say in terms of at least watching part of the game, catching at least an inning, I would say over 150 of the games. I at least am watching a little bit of it. And in the games that I only see a couple innings, or the games that I can't watch at all for some reason, before I record, I am going back and watching all the highlights. I am,
Okay.
going in and looking through the box scores. I am going on to Baseball Savant and looking at some of the data from the game. Like I never go in completely blind to a podcast. I'm always making sure I see what was big from that game, what I need to know from that game, so I can get to the listeners. But I do try to watch a good amount of games, and even sometimes, I might be somewhere, not be able to watch the game, but hey, it's a close game in the ninth inning. Put it on my phone just for the ninth inning, just to kind of see how the game
Yeah.
ends. Sometimes that tells you a lot about the game. Just watching the ninth, it can really tell you
True.
how a game is going. But yeah, it's so hard to watch all 162 games. I don't think I've ever done it, and I don't think I will ever do it. But I go to a good amount of games too. I went to 20 Orioles home games last year,
Oh,
so
cool.
that's a good way to kind of be, I probably don't watch every single pitch when I'm at a game, because you're up and about and getting
Yeah.
a hot dog and chatting with people. But it's also like a different experience to be there. And then even when I'm there, sometimes I'll go home, and before I record, I will still watch back the highlights, because you see stuff differently on the TV broadcast than you see it, from the
In
upper deck
person.
or from down the
Yeah.
third base line. And you can usually get a better, Adley Rutschman might hit a homer, and I might be, wow, that was awesome. But then you go back and watch the highlight and you realize, like, oh man, that was a curveball that was almost in the dirt, and he scooped that thing out for a home run. And it gives you a lot more context on what he
Yeah.
did. But I think it's probably almost impossible for me to watch all 162. But I think people know that. I don't think anyone who listens thinks I'm sitting down every single night and watching
Yeah.
every pitch of every game, because I love the Orioles, but that might even be a little too much Orioles for me.
Yeah. Definitely. You know, just if you miss a game for your post game episode, you just watch the highlights and just go from there. So, um, do you have any future goals that you want to achieve, if it's for broadcasting or for your podcast?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to. I don't know if there's an exact goal for the podcast. I hope it continues to grow. It's continued to grow in listeners and subscribers and people who comment. And it is kind of cool. Like as I mentioned, I went to 20 games last year, which was the most games I've ever gone to. Last season,
Yeah.
I lived within walking distance to the stadium, so that was, it's so easy to get to the game when you can just walk to the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, not every night that I was there, but a lot of the nights I was there, somebody would come up to me and say hi and say they like the podcast in the stadium. And that's, like, I don't know how you put that to a goal, but that's pretty cool that enough people are watching, or listening, that they recognize me at the stadium and feel okay enough to come say hi. I'd like to see it keep growing. And honestly, like, my goal for it is that I hope I continue to enjoy it, because there's always that little thought that's like, I'm recording especially when the season starts from April through September and hopefully October too, recording 5 days a week. Like, the worry is, will I get burnt out from this? Sometimes I do
Yeah.
take days off of the podcast just to make sure I'm not getting completely burnt out. But I think the goal is, as this Orioles team gets really good and hopefully stays really good over the next couple of years, that I don't get burnt out and I still enjoy doing it. And, the audience continues to grow and the Orioles can get good. I mean, my goal would be, I can't really control this, but my goal would be to do a podcast the morning after the Orioles win the World Series. Like, that's the goal. I can't really do anything to help that, but I hope that
Yeah.
happens here in the next couple of years.
We'll see what happens with that. During the off season, do you do an episode still everything, or is it like once or twice a week?
Yeah, so in our off-season mode, we go down to 3 days a week. So I usually do
Okay.
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's usually it's usually a little bit of November, all of December, all of January, and then February until pitchers and catchers report to spring training. And once spring training starts, the podcast goes back to 5 days a week. And then basically at the end of November, goes back to 3 days a week. So it's a little bit of a break you get in the off season. And that's because there's just, there's still stuff to talk about, but when there's not a game every day, it's not as easy to do 5 days a week. And sometimes even 3 days a week can be kind of hard in the off season. I will say it's been much easier when the team's good. When the team was bad and it was the off season, that was a struggle to do 3 episodes a week. But it does slow down a little bit in the off season. And also you understand that, in December, especially in Baltimore, now obviously the Ravens didn't end up winning the Super Bowl, but they had a Super Bowl caliber team. So you have a lot of people who are much more tuned into the Ravens in December than they are the Orioles. And I get it. So, you have the ability then to cut down a couple episodes per week.
Yeah, understood. What else do you do for a living, or is it only doing the Orioles podcast?
Yeah, that is kind of my broadcast gig right now, is the Orioles podcast. I still do some broadcasting, some high school sports called the Baltimore Catholic League basketball championships last weekend. And I do also have a 9-to-5 job, which is outside of sports, outside of broadcasting, helps to pay the bills, but didn't want to give up this podcast because I like it enough.
Yeah, I don't blame you there. Would like to tell everybody what your social media platforms are.
So I have a personal Twitter account. I don't think I've tweeted from that in a long time, like almost a year. It's probably been less than that, but it's been a while. I usually will just go from the @LockedOnOrioles Twitter account, and that's mostly Orioles posts. Locked On Orioles is also on Instagram. It is also on TikTok as well. We have 2 TikToks so far, so not a lot, but we're getting there. And then you can find the podcast on YouTube as well, and wherever you get podcasts, Locked On Orioles.
All right, pretty cool. Do you have any advice for those who wants to cover sports, or if they want to talk about a team that they never watched before? Do you have any advice for that, or just any sports in general?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to cover sports, I would definitely say start wherever you can, right? If you are in middle school or in high school and want to cover sports, just go write about the teams that play at your high school, right? Go to your high school's basketball games, your football games, your lacrosse games, your baseball games, whatever it may be. Go cover those games, write a story, interview the coach afterwards, start to get those reps in. If it's you want to do broadcasting, see if your high school or your college or your local radio station has any kind of position. And honestly, the big part of it is, especially on the broadcasting and the podcasting side, is just keep recording, keep doing things. It doesn't matter if one person is listening. It doesn't matter if 1,000 people are listening. If you keep getting the practice in, you will continue to get better. And that's the big thing with podcasting, with broadcasting. Like, the more you do it, like, the reason why I feel like I've gotten a lot better at this is I believe the episode I just recorded earlier today was episode number 946 of the Locked On Orioles podcast that I've done. So later this year, I'm going to hit 1,000 episodes of the podcast. Like, that is a lot of podcasting. Nice. And I feel like I've gotten better and better every time I've done it. And so even if you just have a small thing that you want to get going and you just want to get practice from it, like, that's great too. And you asked about covering a sport you don't know. It's always find to ask people. For me, what has been helpful in my broadcasting career, I have, called some broadcasts in some sports that I didn't really know a lot about. I know an okay amount about lacrosse just because in Maryland, that's a big time sport and that's where I've lived. But when I broadcasted lacrosse, I asked people questions. I've had to broadcast wrestling before. I get the general idea
Wow.
of what's going on with wrestling, but I don't know what the point system is. I don't know what the different moves are. I asked the coaches. I asked, former wrestlers, like, what is this? What is this? What is this? I've done tennis before and talking about what the different kind of shots are. It's just about asking them what's going on. And I think that's a big thing that, you can kind of cover anything as long as you're asking the right questions. And I think that's big to do.
That's very true. Do you have anything else that you want to promote?
No, it's just the Locked On Orioles podcast. It's we're back to 5 days a week, and as people are listening to this, it's basically almost opening day. So perfect time to check out the podcast if you haven't already.
Yes, you can go check it out on YouTube at the Locked On Orioles podcast. And thank you so much for doing this interview, and that'll be it for the interview. And before we continue on, I have something that I want to say.
The following is a public service announcement from David 3000.
Yankees suck.
This has been a public service announcement from David 3000.
Yes, I just had to put that out there. In case if we didn't hear, in case you missed that, let me do that one more time.
The following is a public service announcement from David 3000.
Yankees suck.
This has been a public service announcement from David 3000.
And that's pretty much all I have to say about that. And as of today, like I said, let me. So, do I have the? Oh yeah, I do. Just today, here's proof. The sale of the Orioles to well, another David on emergency has approved. So that means it is officially been sold. So congratulations to the Baltimore Orioles for that accomplishment, and also thanks once again to Connor for letting me do that interview with you this past month. Actually, I'm gonna, while you have 2 more minutes, I'm actually going to check out on the not only the comments here, but when did I record that interview before I sent out the link to everybody. Actually, it was at the beginning of this month, March 6th. That's when I recorded the interview. Okay, so I was a little bit off. Well, not a little bit, but I forgot I only did one interview during that February week. I did want to say, excuse me, hello to the bingo puppet thing, the bingo puppet troop. I believe that is, I don't know how I pronounce that, but Manny Bingo, who I call him. Thank you so much for being here. I knew you would like this interview, and yeah, I'm very happy for you guys because it's been a long time since you guys have been a successful team, and a 101 season. I did not expect that at all this past season, and I'm glad that you guys have won the AL East because the guys remember the Rays were on a hot streak at the beginning of April, which I absolutely hated. So that's why I was glad that you guys won the AL East to teach the Rays the lesson. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. So just thought I'll let you guys know that. So let me send the link out to the people as I promised. Since it's that time. I hope that is the right link. Yes, it is. Okay. But it's just that for some reason it didn't show the thumbnail or the preview, whatever. So let me just do this. Okay, 10 minutes, cool. Okay. Now let me do this, and this, and that, and this, and haven't been keeping up with March Madness. A little bit. I haven't watched any of the games yet, but I've been following who's been, winning or whatnot. I do hope that UConn goes back to back. So go UConn. To Jordan. That was weird, okay. And hello there, Mr. Nima.
He's like
Come
John
on.
Cena. I can't see him.
I'm
Oh,
here.
now I can.
Yeah. There you go.
Peekaboo!
Hello.
Yeah. So you ready for tomorrow, Eric?
As well as I'll ever be.
What do you mean by tomorrow? I mean, no, tomorrow's R&R, but what else is tomorrow?
Well, I think I did announce it on R&R that I'm the new permanent host of the Dugout Crew podcast.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
So,
and also it's the start of the baseball season for the other 28 teams, because the Dodgers and Padres already played 2-game series in Seoul, I believe it was.
it's starting up here.
Yeah, but it's the opening season for all the rest. So
I got the book.
what was that?
Oh, great. When Rollins gets
Becky
his
Lynch.
book out, it's going to be called The Woman.
I think Ron's got his book already. Mostly everybody is getting their book early.
Their B-Mart.
So
And I just want to
I'll be
one
taking
thing.
control of R&R tomorrow.
Oh, B-Mart's not going to be there? Oh, that sucks.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, well, just make sure you tell everybody this. That's it.
The following is a public service announcement from David 3000.
Yankees suck.
This has been a public service announcement from David 3000.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to do that.
Yep.
We're gonna have to.
When you're on Rate and Rave tomorrow, Jordan, just make sure you let everybody know that
the following is a public service announcement from David 3000.
Yankees suck.
This has been a public service announcement from David 3000.
I mean, I have nothing against Yankees, but whatever.
What does your parents have a favorite baseball team?
I don't really know if they do, to be honest with you. I mean, I know they have their favorite football teams, just like I have my favorite football team, but I don't think I've ever seen them as baseball people.
Baseball people. Well, your dad is a Cowboys fan, right? Well, how about the boys? Anyway, so what's going on with their YouTube channel? I will start with Eric for that one.
Well, I recently, like I said, uploaded a couple of videos already. I did my Joker's Wild video, and I already did another virtually purchased acquisition video where I talked about this book, the Becky Lynch, The Man, Not Your Average Girl.
Positive video.
And looking forward to the baseball season tomorrow. Talk about what's going to happen on the Dugout Crew podcast. Let's see what else is there. And I know I got another vacation in a couple of weeks. So WrestleMania and everything else.
In April. Right?
Yep, in April. So everything is going on. So I bought a few more things on eBay that will help me reorganize my room a little bit better.
True.
So
yeah.
So dealing with that. So, but
Yeah.
other than that, everything's been chill. It's been a beautiful day today, and supposed to get some lucky weather.
Oh yeah, it's been rough for the weather. So
Yeah. So I mean, it has not been that bad here, but
true.
whatever.
But what about you, Jordan?
Hold on. Just having a snack.
Nihar M77. Hello. The first time.
Yeah, they're Nihar.
Nihar.
Nihar the Great. Anyway. But anyway, continue, Jordan.
So for my channel, as always, every Friday I do Chilling with Jordy, at 8 p.m. Eastern. And I will finally be able to showcase gameplay of Princess Peach Showtime. And the reason why I wasn't able to last week was because the day before last week, on Thursday, I already pre-ordered it through online for it to be delivered. But unfortunately, the delivery service estimated it would be this Tuesday, but it came a day earlier on Monday, this past Monday. But I wasn't able to showcase gameplay last week on Friday. So instead of the usual gameplay stuff I do, I decided, you know what? Maybe we could just have a good time. 6 hours of us, having, some good old times, talking, and also having some fun.
Whoa. Hold the phone.
Sounds like somebody's going through, trash in their apartment complex.
Or maybe Nihar is cooking something.
No, I just got dinner. Actually, I moved into a house just recently.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Is it one story or?
It's two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty.
Cool.
Actually, we were lucky to find this area in San Antonio. It's pretty cheap. This place was about $240.
$240. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But what? How's everything with your projects, Nihar?
Pretty good. Just been busy with a lot of stuff, stock trading, and then all my my creative projects and YouTube channel. So that's all been good.
What happened last night, Jordan?
What happened last night?
Yeah, that's what William is referring to. Something.
We had a lot of fun last night. I do know that I went off the rails when someone kept doing that, the room impression of like cheap, cheap, cheap when they're trying to imitate a chicken. I'm like, you dumbasses. It's not cheap, cheap, cheap. It's block, 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 block. You dumbasses, all of you. I was like going nuts,
Oh wow. You were keep saying
what?
That's what you were doing.
Hey,
Chester.
Speaking of which, that's actually a movie that I thought of, last night because with starring Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Steve Austin.
Hey, Chester. Hey, what's going on, man?
Good. I'm doing good. How are y'all?
Pretty good.
Are you ready for tomorrow's Dial Crew, Jesse? Once again?
Yes. Can't wait.
Jason,
another baseball season.
Yep. And Jason should be sending you a streamer link for the meeting tonight. Am I right, Eric?
Yeah, he's
okay.
Unless we're meeting here afterwards. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm. And are you mostly a Astros fan or now Rangers fan, Jesse? Because you're from Texas. I just want to know, like.
I like both teams, but I'm primarily a Astros fan.
What the heck is this?
Stephen A.
Super Dave, how's it going, my boy? Listen. I know I normally talk about football, but I'm going to talk about baseball today because it's they're getting ready for baseball in Busch Stadium.
Busch Stadium.
Stephen A. Stay off the
Wait.
weed.
And go Cardinals.
Wait, hold on a minute. I'm actually a Yankees fan. You smoke?
Two white guys imitating a black guy. How racist.
That's a little questionable when you think about it.
I knew it was you, Danny. I knew it was you.
Wait, did Near just leave because of what I just said?
No, because probably technical difficulties. Yes, he must be.
Because if he just left because I said I was just being funny. You know, I'm not trying to cancel anybody. Like, jeez.
But he's in the kitchen, remember? So he must be working on some.
Well, if he can't handle the heat, he needs to stay out of that kitchen.
Well, maybe that's what people from Detroit, Michigan should do. Anyway.
Not sure what that's a reference of. I'm assuming it has something to do with BTS, if I'm mistaken.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyway. Anyway.
Highland Park, Michigan, to be exact.
Oh my. So what's going on with their projects, Danny?
Well, I spent most of the day listening to actually, I went yesterday at work. I listened to episode 24 of Rant and Rave. Good times.
Oh, 24?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And today I listened to one of Christian Carrion's podcasts. As you know, David, he hosts that Tell Us About Yourself show where he interviews former game show contestants and gets their insights, and that was fun.
Oh, nice. Oh,
and we got what's this?
Well, you know something that could renew a rivalry between him and The Rock if that would be the case. If that's the case,
that's cool.
If that happens.
But
Jesse, you're rooting for the Rangers now, Jesse? Oh, you still?
Yeah. Well, they did win. They are this year's champs.
So that one of my plans is when I host, because I'm hosting the show. I'm going to be the new host. I'm going to introduce each and every one. I just realized something. I get you, Jason, and Joey. I'm going to start calling you the 3J crew. Myself with the 3J crew, and I know David's going to be our executive producer. He's promoting himself.
Yep.
Producer.
Producer.
Yep. And not the Buck. What is that thing P1 says? Buck Clout or something, Danny? The YouTube buddy of something.
Oh, you're the butt buddy of YouTube Cloud. That's what you are.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
Well, butt buddies.
Butt buddies. Oh,
anyway. But yeah, everything's for my projects. Like I said, I'm gonna see what's gonna happen with this. So after this, because YouTube's algorithm has been an F minus.
Really?
Oh no.
Yes.
Oh no.
By the way, Hitman, sorry.
Oh my God, really?
It's not Charlie, it's the J. You nincompoop. Now shut your mouth while I conduct some business here. How's everybody doing? It doesn't matter. What do you think I'm doing?
It doesn't matter how you're doing. You screw that up big time.
No, it's the Che. The Che does it when he's over like Rover. You got people on Big Boy Stream, Will talking about the Che. You got the girls talking about the Che one, the Mac the Che.
Oh my.
The Che has all the pie in the world he can have. And David, you should know something about pie.
Wait, you say girls talk about you? I didn't know Danny count.
Well, if we're talking about bearded ladies, then Dan E. Lewis is the one of them all.
I'm not going to comment on that one.
Yeah, your thoughts are this.
Oh my God!
Look at that charisma torpedo. Look at that charisma torpedo right there. Michael Babadio has too many O's in his name.
Oh God, I got people laughing in the chat.
looking like a grade A crybaby. I'm sure he was crying when his hero, Cody Rhodes, was getting bloodied by The Rock.
Well, hey, I mean, it's that time of the month again.
I know that Cody crybaby. We all know wears the real pants in the relationship. It ain't him. It's his Nubian queen, Brandy Rhodes.
His Nubian queen.
By the way, Charlie, Nihar was here earlier, but he had to go because he was gonna check in with you and Mr. Kitchen. So.
Oh, he realized that the electricity was going to be through the roof that his internet couldn't do. Jordan knows something about that.
Since Danny said something about R&R, like episode 24, I mean, let's not forget about episode 29 if you're going to talk about kitchens.
Oh, yes. Lennon is solely responsible for your success, so you should bow down and kiss the feet of your best friend, Lennon's Kitchen. Shout out to him, that schmuck. If it wasn't for Lennon's Kitchen, Rant and Rave would be nowhere.
Whoa. You gotta give credit to Mr. Brendan Martin.
He wasn't even on that stream.
Well, that was because I didn't want him in the crossfire.
Oh, you gotta give credit
the crossfire of Lennon's Kitchen, cooking him some lasagna.
What, Danny?
I think you should give credit to Mr. 1279 because that led to Pain and Gain 60, which led to Jordy's inspiration to, act like.
Oh, you mean that guy?
Yes.
Honestly, I got no problem with that individual anymore because, again, like I said, it's just like with certain people. You can only hate someone for so long until you get over it and then just let it go.
Unless if a guy is a guy named Vince McMahon.
Oh my God! Don't get me started on that son of a bitch.
Hey, okay. Speaking of scandals, now I was noticing during the last R&R.
Exactly. Anyway, go ahead, Danny.
I was noticing during this week's R&R that they were talking about Mr. Dan Schneider in the chat. Right?
Yeah.
Now, Jordan and Eric, did either of you watch the Quiet on Set movie?
I've heard of it, but I've only heard of what happened on there.
The bastard's too cheap for Max, and he doesn't want to support David Zasloff. I'm pointing at Jordan, so I know Jester's in the middle, but still.
Okay, let me ask you something, Chaden. Who'd want to support David Zasloff considering all the shit he's done?
Don't make me get Victor.
Well, I have said this as a person, like there were some decisions of his that I've not liked, but there were some decisions, like for example, Canny Batwoman. That movie looked, from what I've heard, was grade A shit. So he did everything to everybody a favor. Do we want another Madam Web?
The thing is, the one thing that really pisses me off about him was the fact that he did not want a tribute to Jamin Pugh, aka Jay Briscoe.
See, that's one thing I didn't agree with. That and the Coyote movie that they trashed.
And there you go. And if there's 3 things that he's done that's bad, then I don't need to say.
That's 2. What's the third thing?
That was the Coyote movie, Wile E. Coyote.
What was the first thing? You said I said the.
Oh my God!
I said the Batwoman. He did us a favor.
Batwoman. And that's the second thing. The Jamin Pugh tribute.
The Batwoman was.
That's 3.
The Batwoman was actually a good thing because did we want another Madam Web?
I never asked for a Madam Web.
I know we didn't ask for a Batwoman either.
Yeah, and you want to know why? Because people don't want, something being all woman. No, there's got to be a man with the woman.
It's not Che, or it's not Che, it's the Che, you schmuck. No, hello, William. Anyway, what I was saying, though, was, well, speaking of women, one woman who was in that movie, Sydney Sweeney, my lovely Sydney Sweeney, anybody who is a fan of religious horror movies, which again I've been again, like most religious horror movies are mostly the same, but Immaculate, I just saw it, fucking excellent. That ending, I will not go into details, but fuck that that ending was wild as fuck. That was a good movie. Bust Sydney Sweeney, seeing her.
Anyway, what was Danny trying to say before we so rudely interrupt him?
I know, right?
Well, there was a few points about Dan Schneider, which the people in the live chat were kind of just saying one thing. It could have been vague. It could have been real. But
I noticed that too. I just didn't really. All I know is I've only only from what I've heard and I've seen, some things. I don't go with what I've take from the chat for granted. I only take what I've seen and heard, through facts and all other stuff. And besides,
but Jordan, as we know from history, not all facts are what they seem.
That may be true, but today, how they say facts over feelings. And by the way, for someone who doesn't love facts over feelings, this is coming from a guy who had to lie to me 2 years ago. So shut up, bitch.
Well, you mixtured facts and feelings. The old say facts over feelings. You put your feelings with your facts, and it blinded you by the hoochie. But hey, as I've always told you,
I had to throw that in there because
I know, and I was gonna say something about facts over feelings, and I was like, they said I was like, but to be fair though, the hoochie, I got blinded by the hoochie too, so I can't fucking blame you on that.
I'm surprised you're able to work a device considering how you're not.
You're still learning, my Padawan. You'll be like me in no time.
Jesus.
By the way, everybody has their camera on except Jordan. What? You should turn on your camera now, Jordan. You snoop.
He's probably getting his ass whooped by his mom right now for talking to me like that. So he's probably not wanting us all to see it. Let's not forget the Indian rant rave or no, chilling with Jordy last week.
Joke's on you. My mom's not here, but she will be back here tonight, though.
Is she bringing you Taco Bell?
God, I hope so.
Well, if she doesn't, I ate it for you. I had 3 stackers earlier before I went to go see the movie.
You bet.
And I got 3 more for free by technical error on the app. The lady was like, "Oh, you ordered 6." I'm like, "No, I didn't." And she's like, "Yeah, you did." I'm like, "No, I didn't." And she's like, "Yeah." I was like, "All right, I'll take them. Fuck, they're free."
Whore!
Anyway.
Well, hey, that woman, she probably wants some white chocolate in her, so she wanted to give me some extra food, but sorry, 1, I'm taking, and 2, she ain't my type. So
I was talking about you being the whore.
What? Oh, the Taco Bell whore. Well, I could have sent it to you. I could have sent the food to you, but I don't know if they'd be good by the time they get to your area.
Well, speaking of food, hold on.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. Yep. I mean...
What the hell? What's that noise in the background?
Oh, that's me.
That sounds like a microwave.
That's me microwaving a burrito.
Anyway, so Danny, what do you got to say regarding the whole Dan Snyder thing?
Danny, Jordan's talking to you.
Yeah.
I said, what are your thoughts on the whole Dan Snyder thing?
Okay. Well, he's the one who created all of these shows that we watched when we were kids. Yeah. And I saw some people saying that Dan Snyder should be in prison. Dan Snyder did this, but I don't think that's gonna happen. He's guilty of nothing more than being weird. He's a creep. Okay, yeah, he's got all the feet fetish and all that stuff, making Ariana Grande.
I mean that is true. I mean you can't arrest a guy for having a fetish, or whatever.
Yes. And he was probably a jerk behind the scenes, as told to some actors. Although, and you were mentioning how Josh from Drake and Josh, when someone tried to ask him about Snyder, this was just a couple of years ago, all Josh had to say was, he was a tough boss.
I didn't really know if that interview was recent or not. I mean, if that was a couple of years ago, I take that back. Because in fact, I'm going to have to take it back because I heard recently that he and Drake, surprisingly, he reached out to Drake, privately, and said that, that he was in support of Drake and his problems and all that. And I thought because of what's happened between those two and, all that happened with them personally, even before and after Drake and Josh, it was just because, either jealousy or it was just, no professionalism. But then again, one can only can see the details between it. But as far as I'm concerned, I mean, Josh is cool in my book. I really got no issues with him. I just know that sometimes you got to read between the lines and in the details, and that's just it. I just hope nobody defends Dan Snyder for most of the stuff he's done, because what I know about him is the fact that despite, all the shows he's created and he's done for Nickelodeon, the fact is there should be no, pardon for what you've done by being a douchebag.
Sure. And in
I'm guilty of that myself, and I'm willing to admit my flaws and my mistakes. I'm not going to paint a picture of myself and say that I've never done anything wrong. What I do, I will take accountability for. And you know what? Even though Dan himself said, and that's Dan Snyder, if he takes accountability for what he's done, he's got to show it, and in order to prove it.
Yeah.
Sorry, paint a picture.
A picture of what?
Hey, Jesse, I got to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Are you a tape collector?
Not like I used to be. Because nowadays...
do you have the tape that goes over Chayton's fucking mouth?
See, I was painting. I wasn't even saying anything.
Where were you painting?
David, he's bullying me. You gotta remove him. You're against bullies, right?
David.
Wait. So what do we call? So what do we call him? David Snyder now?
Oh, brother.
David Snyder.
Yeah. You should remove him for that, David. That was cold. Even I wouldn't call you that, David.
Oh my gosh, you're such a dingle nut, Jay.
Yes. But Nihar, what did you saw the you heard the news about Mr. Snyder?
Yeah.
Schneider.
What's your thoughts about it?
Well, I remember that he has a lot of allegations against him, but I don't know.
Okay. What about you, Chester?
Holy mackerel!
All I know is that guy. We're watching like a bunch of YouTube docs. That guy is a creep.
Yeah.
Take one look at him, and basically all you got is one look at him, and yep. I wouldn't be surprised he was on a sex offender registry one day.
That's what I thought about you when I first met you, Chayton.
No, that's what I thought about you.
Wow.
Yeah, but we know that Dan is a creep. But the other guy that the documentary talks about is Mr. Brian Peck.
Yeah, no relation to Josh Peck.
Yeah,
but Jordan, you'd be silent as the Chase speaks some gospel to you. Go ahead, Danny.
He was this Brian Peck. He was a dialogue coach, and he worked behind the scenes of all that, the Amanda Show and the like, and would occasionally appear in these shows. He's in a scene in the original Good Burger movie where he's yelling at Kel Mitchell and he says, I ordered a patty with nothing on it.
Well, that one.
Yeah.
The one where he's like, I ordered a Good Burger with nothing on it.
Yeah, that guy.
That's what I gave you, dude. Nah, you gave me a bun. Just a bun. Look, there's no meat in here, but you said you didn't want it on it. That's why I expected a meat patty. Dude, a meat patty is something. You said nothing. This is a meat patty, something or nothing. Something? I went, okay, that rips it. I'm reporting your name to the manager. The manager already knows my name. I'll see you in hell. Okay, see you there.
Oh, that's David. Kind of ironic, isn't it, that he would say "see you in hell"?
Oh my God! And you know what? That guy deserves to go to hell for what he did.
David, have you seen my reaction to Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2?
Oh
no!
Oh my God, David, you don't support my videos.
I was on your last live stream. You smoke.
You come to me. You want me to be on your streams. You want me to check out all your streams.
No, you got to say it through your teeth. Like, why don't you support my videos?
All right. Why don't you support my videos?
There you go.
I was on your last live stream, so you're welcome, hey man.
Well, yeah, I probably boosted your subscribers because the Che brings all the people.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Red Button Club live stream.
What the fuck?
No! No! I didn't do it!
Well, of course Danny didn't do it unless he has control of David's stream.
I could have done it if I wanted to, but no, that wasn't me.
Oh, okay. Well, then, yeah, we could blame Danny.
Oh my!
But yes, I actually really enjoyed Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. It was a vast improvement over the first movie, so I actually recommend it.
Rebel promotion gone wrong 3.
Not then everybody's gonna have their issues with it, of course.
Yeah, now let's get excited for Bambi the Reckoning, Pinocchio Unstrung, and then Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare, and then finally Poohverse Monsters Assemble, all coming out in the next year, within the next year.
Whoever's bright idea in making all those little childhood stories horror movies, I'd get started in a new movie called Foot Up Their Rear Ends.
Well, if I knew about all this, I would have fucking made the movie first. It probably would have been better than the first Winnie the Pooh movie.
I'd be starting in that. It's got put their foot up their rear ends, man. I don't know what.
Funny thing is that, you know, when they call it the Pooniverse, I freaking laughed my ass off last week. You know why? Because I thought it was another slang. I thought it was another slang for poontang.
Yeah, something Jordan knows nothing about. Oh. There we go. Thank you. That was a good.
And when's the next time you're gonna have poontang that doesn't have STD?
Yeah. And I
thank you. That was a good joke.
I hate horror.
No, that was actually a question. It wasn't a joke.
Well, we're talking about
looks like the soundboard likes me.
Oh my!
Hold on a second. If Jim Cummings Pooh himself tells people don't watch your movie, you don't make another one. Ugh.
Speaking of Jim Cummings, that's where the Red Ranger was on, saying that he was going to make Hitler shirts on the Jim Cummings show.
Yeah,
I first heard about that through Arthur. Arthur was the first one to tell me about it. He's like, yeah, the Red Ranger making Nazi shirts.
The original Red Ranger, Austin St. John, played.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm glad that you know what would be more funnier if what Jim's name would be instead of Jim, if it was short.
Oh boy!
Like yourself?
No, not like. Oh my God! You're not.
Oh, God.
Pay attention, Jim Cummings, right? What if his name wasn't Jim?
There are more people in the world. I don't know this for sure, but I believe there are more people in the world with the last name Long than there are short.
And also Niddle.
There's a porn star with the last name Cummings. So, but you can't find out Pornhub here in Texas. Nihar, what are we going to do? We can't watch Pornhub in Texas right now. Jesse too. Fuck, we're all fucked right now.
Nihar doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that watches porn.
What, Jordy?
Nihar doesn't strike me as the type of guy that watch porn, to be honest.
No, he's the type of guy to watch porn.
I'm too classy.
No, he's the type of guy. He's classy, but he's the type of guy who watches porn in secret.
Well, I highly doubt he wants any viruses on his computers for the projects he's doing.
Well, as well as I'm gonna say though, but I always tell people you can learn a thing or two. Just don't think every woman's gonna be your porn star. You're gonna slap around, spit on them, and urinate on them and shit like that.
Jesus, help me! The way how you talk about it's like pissing on a dead corpse.
Charlie,
I was gonna say there was only one chick I ever gave a golden shower to, but that was her idea, not mine. Yeah.
Charlie, did you watch the show Euphoria?
Oh, I haven't seen season 2 yet, but because that first season got me real bad. But yes, that show's so good. And Sydney Sweeney's in that too. That's where I first saw her. I was like, oh my God, this woman is just so gorgeous. I'm not usually a blonde. I'm not into blondes, but fuck. Those eyes and those bazoombas.
Bazoombas?
And I'm not usually a breast guy. I'm a man that likes a good ass. I'm more of an ass guy than a breast guy, but goddamn.
He's an ass man. Wah, wah. Yes, he's an ass man. Wah, wah.
So many asses. So
ass boys. Billy ass in the ass boys.
Oh, we need to play music for you. I got some.
Oh,
Oh, I'm not gonna sing that song again. Okay, that's okay.
David, you should sing Ass Man.
Yeah.
Nope, never.
But you say
Anyway.
I'm a butt man, so you can censor yourself.
It's this.
Well, you are an ass, man.
It's I'm an ass man. Whap,
That-
whap.
That should be your new shtick. You should be able to do freaking karaoke's with David 3000.
Karaoke with
I
David.
thought Arthur
Oh
would be
heck
good for
no.
that job.
Carpool.
I know.
Turn.
It's like Arthur and Roar. I know they too, and I do enjoy Roar's karaoke's.
Oh my God.
Well,
They're both
when
like
David turns 21.
two cats dying, just like screechy, but it's hilarious.
Wait. Remember that word you just said earlier, bazoomas?
Yes.
Hold on. This is what William said.
Bazoobas.
Bazoomas.
Anybody wants to know where I got that word? I remember I first heard it on an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where he's like bazoom buzz, bazoom buzz.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
what, Danny?
I think when David turns 21, Charlie has to take him to a strip club.
I've told him this. You know, me and Tom
Wait
will.
a
I'll
second.
come over to Tom's place. We'll drive over
Wait
there.
a second. Wait a minute.
We'll kidnap David.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Doesn't David turn 21 this year?
Yes.
Yeah.
October.
Troy was trying to talk, you smuck.
I was gonna say I can't say kidnap. We're gonna abduct him. We're gonna abduct him, and we're gonna hog time and take him to the strip club.
Isn't abduction?
David said, "Cummings, hey, we could do it. I could do a story with that where he finds out that he is not Donald Trump's illegitimate son, and but he only knows of the porn life. So he realized that he can't, like, what name could be marketable? Well, for porn, David St. Cummings. Yes. The wonderful David
Great.
St. Cummings.
Now Tyler stars. Now
Simple
Tyler stars something for you.
Hey, I got an idea. Let's play.
Hold on. I want to hear what Danny has to say. What's your idea?
I said let's play a little match game.
Okay.
Eric, have you got a 3x5 card near you, or something you could write on?
No, I don't. That's all right.
You have a 4x4. You know, so
Eric has to go.
So I can use that truck to hit Chayton with.
Eric and Chester has to go to.
Laugh.
Eric and Chester has to go to.
Jason,
Cummings 3000.
Cummings 3000. But the tagline is.
You know what that should be? That should be David's porn star name.
Yeah, David St. Cummings. He'll make you come all night long.
Yeah, like Ric Flair. Oh, not long.
Ooh, neat.
Okay,
As I was trying.
Charlie, I want you to read this question. I'm gonna put it in the private chat. I want you to read this question in that voice, in that David St. Trump voice. Okay.
All right.
Let me type it in. Hold on.
All right. So how you doing, Nihar? I haven't talked to your ass in a while.
Busy, but good. Just
Same.
Lots of stuff. Moved into the new house. I shared with the group about my move.
So you moved recently, like, to that new house, right?
Yeah, like 2 days ago.
How long?
I had a lot of like stuff to sign and stuff. But
how long did it take to get into the new house? Like,
it took me probably a month.
Damn, bro.
So my lease ended last month in the middle of February, and then
while me and Chayton were still going at each other, did you know that when I had to move out of the old house that I was in originally, we had to wait. We were supposed to be somewhere for 3 weeks, ended up for 3 months until we moved into this house now.
Oh, wow.
Well, I was going to say,
consider yourself lucky.
Nihar, I forgot to tell you, though. I'm going to have to, it was very important. I forgot to tell you, I'm moving in today because the U-Haul truck's packing all my stuff. That's why I'm in the restroom right now. And I'm getting over there around 8 p.m. tonight. to unload everything. A lot of shit. Just FYI.
Hey Chester, when are you going to meet Charlie and Nihar and the other guys?
He's the only person that
What was that Monday Night Raw? I didn't see Chayton there.
I know. What seating were you in?
I was way up high.
I think it was 120, the 125 section. Yeah, like and shit. If I knew that, I would have messaged you and then tried it because I was with I was hanging with Big Boy and all that at that time. But yeah, one of these days, because I think he's the only person out of everybody that we've been in this group that have been in the same city. I haven't met. Of course, I met Lennon and Ihar. I met Big Boy. Who else have I met from here? I know I've met Dan, but he's not from.
I said you've met Amy.
Oh yeah, but that was actually before I put her in the group.
But still.
Oh yeah, that was a
Still
funny story how that happened, but that's for private. Anyway, what I was gonna say though was that I gotta read what Danny said because I'm sure you
read this. We're gonna play a little match game. Okay, read this question, Charlie.
All right. It's difficult for me to keep a woman every time we have sex. I want her to say blank.
Okay, now Jordan and Nihar, David too, write down an answer to this question, and we're gonna see if we can match. Charlie, you can think of an answer too if you like. Okay.
David St. Trump said, "It's difficult for me to keep a woman because every time we have sex, I want her to say blank."
Now, okay. And
I already got one. So.
Okay.
Is this virtual Cards Against Humanity?
No, this is just a match game.
Who else have I met here? I know I've met Mason. I'm gonna have someone else coming down here in June as well with Mason. Mystery man or woman. It could be either one.
Is everyone ready?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna go first. I had two answers. My first answer was deal, like deal or no deal, or Yankees suck. Okay, now David was.
There we go.
Yankee. Okay, yeah, we matched. We got a match. Yeah.
I put mine in private chat.
Master and Jordy said Red Bubble.
I want her to call me Mish, dude.
I could have said, I could have went with, and I want you to say butthole.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that would have been a good
always
answer.
yes.
Yeah, the other one could have been want her to say, if it was more than one word, I could have. Well, if you said the Yankees, I could have said, I wanted her to say expected bigger or something like that.
Oh, okay.
All right, what's the next question, Danny?
Oh, I only had that one planned. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Maybe not.
All right, I'll have Jordan do one in my voice, but I'll have to make it PG so Jordan can say it.
Yeah, PG, brother. Oh my God!
All right.
Did you know that TKO is wanting WWE to keep the PG product and all that? Like they want it to stay the PG thing that's been going on since they had to change it in 2008.
Oh my! All right, let's see what your answer is there.
Like you realize the Rock has no filter,
All right.
What?
Jordan, read this question. Charlie.
I don't even see it.
All right, I'll put it in right now.
Okay.
You gotta read my voice though.
Oh, I gotta read your voice.
Yeah.
I busted a nut in a girl, but it was meant for her blank.
All right, write down your answers.
Mike,
yeah, you can.
Okay.
Excuse me, I can't reach my silverware.
I got one.
20 seconds, gentlemen.
By the way, I don't mind we go overtime, just so we're clear.
Yeah,
no more than 2 hours. No more than 2 hours, we could go overtime.
6 hours, Jory. Oh my God! That's where the busted a nut goes in a girl goes into the thing.
Jordy, what did Jordy say?
You like that? Like if you bust a nut in a girl, that means you put it in her pussy.
Wow.
So you basically gave out the answer.
No, that wasn't the answer. That wasn't the answer. That wasn't the answer. That is.
Wait, what?
No, when you bust a nut in a girl, but it was meant for her blank, that means you forgot to pull out.
But it was meant for her friend.
Charlie,
yeah, I just pull it out and it's sprayed on her friend. Yeah. Her friend wants you off.
Meant for her to sleep?
It was meant for her to sleep. What the fuck? You fucking schmucks. You like. So I'm supposed to.
Sister.
That's even weirder. See, D-Har, it was weird for the girl to want me. Well, not really, but bang her friend. But now it's supposed to be meant for her sister. No. Jesus Christ! None of you like this is. I thought this was gonna be an easy answer.
I think you and your current girlfriend.
Jester, you have an answer?
I think you and your current girlfriend.
Please save me.
Eric, do you want to try?
Oh my
God. Eric, you want to try before I
Jesse said ass.
Yeah, but you have a question for people
so
to.
Jesse is an ass.
Well, to be fair, Jesse was the only one with the right answer. It was that besides I wanted butthole, but you know what? It was ass works too. So yeah, Jester is the only one that had the answer. You bunch of weirdos.
Okay.
Jordan, when you bust a nut in a girl, that means it goes in her vajayjay.
Yeah, this is coming from the guy that it says bust a nut, and yet you're calling us weirdos.
Well, like there's bust a nut, there's cream, there's cream pie, there's frickin' just all that good stuff. You know, the dance Eric makes whenever he sees a cream pie video.
Oh God. I was making a joke. He said bust a nut. He's like, don't just stand there, bust a move like Young MC and then the old school back in the day.
That's his bust a nut maneuver. He dances when he's like, I'm about to bust a nut. Oh, I'm about to bust a nut. Oh yeah.
Why do you wait? You're doing that breaking down like dance, from Airplane, where after someone gets stabbed in the back, they're trying to point at the knife, but then all of a sudden the woman just copying what he's doing, just dancing around.
Oh man, Jay, you're nothing but a fool.
Eric, I got one if you don't want to do it.
Let's see. I'm gonna come up with my own match game question.
Okay.
Huh?
All right, yeah. Do you want to?
This is a challenge. It's a challenge. I'm gonna try to see if we can.
And make sure to put in the private chat just in case as well.
Okay. Let's see. Let's put in the private chat.
And thank you for the match game cue, Danny.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
On the future Chilling3000 Hangouts, we'll do a full 1 hour episode of match game. So.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Yep.
Not to be confused with Blank Slate, which airs at 2:00 on Game Show Network.
Okay. Okay. All right, here we go. As you know, the Power Rangers season has ended after 30 years. They tried to revive it again, but it did not do too well. Instead of calling it the Power Rangers, they call it the Power Blank.
Okay, let's see.
The Power Blankers?
Power Blank.
I said Power Blankers.
No, it's power blank.
So it could be anything. It could be blankers. It could be just blank, Jordan. So it could be anything. Yeah.
It could be anything. That's the blank part. Clean the wax out of your ears.
He sounds like he, has a problem with his pacemaker.
You better watch it, Jordan. Nice time.
I put my answer in the
Power
chat.
bangers.
No.
There's probably a porno somewhere for Power Rangers.
Hang on a second. Is that Raw's world profile picture on Jordan? Yeah. I mean, that's basically the profile picture that I'm using, based off Raw's work, but it's not the Raw's work logo.
I don't know, Power Raiders.
All right.
Okay.
David, you really need to get more porn clientele. You can't just milk off of one person for so many years, especially one who's a murderer who murdered 2 strippers, David.
Why did he murder them while squishing them in the bed?
All right.
Oh, George, that's not nice. That's a fat joke, man. You gotta be more politically correct than that, man.
Okay, David, what was your answer?
No, Jordan, you're canceled. You're canceled for the 1800 time.
I was being nice. It's called being honest.
My answer is
Power fat shamers?
No.
Somewhere in Canada right now. Andrew is saying
Hold on.
it's
One at a time. David, what was your answer?
Power Andrew Hockey Game Strippers. Go Power Rangers.
fat shamers.
Go Power Rangers.
Actually, my answer here's as you know, the
Hi, how are you?
The Power Rangers ended after 30 seasons, 30 years. They tried to revive it again, and it failed in the ratings. So it's called Power Failure. That's
Oh.
Power Failure. It didn't
I
do
guess.
well in the ratings.
Yeah, I guess people said
They all
this
didn't
about
match me, so you suck. All of you. No, I hate it. Yeah, not my best. It's not my best thing. I cannot come up sexual. I gotta watch more Match Game '98 for that.
Well, Eric, it was better than in mine because all these dweebs in here with just to be the only one to fucking get right. These fucking schmucks.
All right, Jordan, your turn.
No, I don't have one.
All right, I'll go with no. This time,
no, you can't go again. That's not how it works. I think Jesse should go next.
Well, okay, well, yeah. Well, I was gonna say we're going by who went after then, but yeah, if Jess wants to go, go.
I'll pass. I'm not really familiar.
Charlie, you said Power Bangers.
Yeah, I said Power Bangers.
Okay.
All right, let's see.
I'll come up with one since somebody doesn't want to.
Hold on, I said I went with the power electricity theme. I said the power chords.
Yeah, the chain.
Yeah,
you were close, but it was Power Failure. It didn't do too well when I was trying to go down. I was
like the Bird Call podcast.
Wow. Wow.
Jordan David hit the music. That was a good burn.
Oh, a double. Nice.
All right, Jordan, read your question.
Oh.
There we go. Thank you.
I actually want Chayton to read it.
Okay.
Let's see if you can do it. If you can, do an impression of me.
There are two things in there are two things in life that matters: blank and blank. Mom, quit hitting me. Shut up. I'm gonna hit you until you tell me you don't want no more Taco Bell. But Mom, shut it. You little queer, shut it.
It is true. She has called me a queer in the past.
Yeah,
in a funny way.
Yeah, my son is a queer. Anyway, so blank or blank. Hold on a sec.
So is this you're saying it, Jordan? So it's something that you would say?
Death and taxes. Yeah.
Nope. You're close.
Who, me?
Yeah, you're close, but that's not it.
Oh, at least I was good. It's facts over feelings.
I know, but he said and. Keyword and.
But they say facts over feelings, though.
I know.
So that means facts is over feelings, you schmuck.
I said wrestling and YouTube.
That's how it is with some of these people, yeah. Well, not wrestling, but yeah.
Okay, so death and taxes, no. Tits and ass, no. Facts and feelings, that's not a thing, but no. Knee hard, death and taxes equals late stage capitalism. Oh, geez.
No, I don't have one. I'm just saying, yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Democrats and Republicans. Yeah, it's good.
No. Danny, what did you choose?
Wrestling
and YouTube. Oh my God.
Okay, but no, that was not the answer. This is.
You better do a girl on that power bike I see back there. I swear to God.
That's
lips
and assholes. Yeah. Oh, like pussy lips. Okay, yeah. If no one else will say it, I'll say I get the reference.
Oh my God! Last night, I think I know what.
Okay, here, Coke and Pepsi.
Last night, during the review of
with the red and blue theme, Coke and Pepsi. There you go.
Coke and Pepsi. There you go.
I'm a Dr. Pepper guy.
That's a Republican and Democrat too, red and blue and all that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
go ahead, Jordan.
So yeah, last night during the Popcorn Panel podcast, we were doing the review of the Joy Luck Club. If any of you haven't seen it, you need to watch it in case I recommend it to women who have been going through a lot, and I mean a lot of trauma, this, that, and third. And yeah, it's a movie that is recommended, but here's the thing. During the review, Victor's already asking, have you seen it before? Have you seen it before? Asking William and Jared, and then he asked me, he says, oh, I know you haven't watched it because you just saw it earlier in the day. And you know what I did? I belched so loud. I mean, everybody just started dying laughing when they heard it that loud. I was like, my speakers!
Was Romy up your ass?
Well, the thing is, that's the weirdest thing. He came in he came in the live chat way too later than he usually does.
Maybe he was taking a nap.
Did you yell at him for not supporting your videos?
I was meaning to think of that. I'll have to think of that sometime. But
It's like I always whenever he's
I'll be like, Romy, why haven't you supported my videos?
Yeah, David can't stay up and watch the Che play games and whatnot. By the way, if anybody saw my stream last night, it was actually funny. I was at the end. It was my WWE 2K24 stream. It was the first stream I did for the game.
Yeah, it had Hulk Hogan in it, right?
Yeah, Hogan. It was at the very end. Hogan was I was trying to beat the Royal Rumble in the 40 years WrestleMania. And Hogan got eliminated. I was about to rematch, and then the game crashed. And I said to myself, I said, I guess that loss didn't work for him, brother.
By the way,
I was like, let me restart this. That doesn't work for me, brother. And now I was like, what the fuck? And the game restarted. The game crashed, and I was like, fuck.
The funny
I used to
thing
watch it 2K20.
I've
the greatest video game of all time. Yeah.
I've played.
You haven't beat the Royal Rumble. I had problems with it too. I keep getting eliminated.
Rumble myself. I mean, I tried. I mean, they make you start at number 1 of all places.
That's the point.
Yeah, well, the thing is, they're making you start number 1. They don't give you a random number like they give the other people. And you know what I do? I start. You know who I'm playing as?
Who?
Ooh, yeah.
That's probably why you lost every time, because Macho Man didn't have the best track record in the Rumbles.
Macho Man Randy Savage. I am the tower of power, too sweet to be sour, funky like the monkey. Sky's the limit, and space is the place, and you can take it. All that trash talk and shoving up your ass. Ooh, yeah.
Well, you want to know probably why you keep losing as a Macho Man? Because probably you have Kevin Nash coming in there giving you bad directions, and you're like, 36 and what?
Actually,
I won't get there.
Actually, it was
15
Diesel.
minutes.
It was actually Diesel.
I know, but you ever remember that episode of Thunder where fucking Kevin Nash is is giving him directions of where to meet him to drop so they could trade off Gorgeous George for the world title. He's like 36 and what? How are you going?
Oh my God, I remember this. Where's George, you son of a bitch?
Big sexy, I will kill you.
Yeah, and then he smacks Tori Wilson because he's trying to, save the show, like trying not to get her to break.
Because she's smiling and all that, because she
was kind of laughing too.
Oh shit! You look at Savage, fucking act like a fucking wild man. Again, as I love
every time he runs backstage with a camera following him, he has to put a track, like has to knock things over, so the cameraman probably has to hurtle over or just trip. But anyway,
and it's funny because like Hollywood Rock is my favorite incarnation of The Rock. That version of Savage from '99, as short-lived as it was, is still my favorite Savage, just because I just liked how crazy he was. So I call him Pimp Savage.
But anyway, William sent me something else. I think it's 22 seconds. What is this? Oh, that was the last night.
Shut up, Jordy. Oh my God.
Well.
Oh my God. Jesus.
Welcome back from Nashville, Mr. Wilner.
Thanks.
I've been working on the railroad all live long day. I've been working on the railroad to shove it up Victor's ass.
Oh my gosh.
Whatever.
That's what you would do then. Don't lie to me.
I'm sure that'll happen on Friday. Who knows?
Friday, getting down. Oh wait, never mind.
Oh my God. It's Friday.
I wish I could go to TJI Fridays, but no, I'll be.
Why can't you go? Why can't you go, David? Oh no, David, I got a perfect place for you. You should go to Twin Peaks.
Oh my God.
Well, actually, Charlie, I have something here for you. Oh, actually, no. I'll wait until.
The following is a public service announcement from David 3000.
Yankees suck.
This has been a public service announcement from David 3000.
Yeah, we've heard it before about 1 million times.
Well, Ben is here. That's why I wanted to play for him, because his dad is a Yankees fan. So
hey, you know what? Now I just thought of something.
I'll admit that.
Now we can actually have a live. We can have a a remake of that infamous movie, Gay Cowboys.
It's Brokeback Mountain, you homophobic schmuck.
No, not that Gay Cowboys. I think there was a movie called Gay Cowboys, but it had some, but it wasn't. But the problem is, it had nothing to do with anything homosexual. Gay was another term.
So they have a star like the Cowboys.
Whatever.
But there wasn't football involved in that matter. What I'm saying is, it's kind of funny how they call it gay, but they never called them happy Cowboys.
Well, speaking of football, the United Football League starts this. Season starts this Saturday. I'm not watching it because too many sports. God dang it.
Wait a second. So you mean to tell me after your NFL season's over, we get another football season?
Yeah, spring football.
Totally different.
Spring goddamn football. Something that The Rock started.
Yeah, The Rock merged it with the UFL, the XFL, and the UFL.
Well, to be honest with you, I mean, why not? I mean, XFL, that was never going to get off the ground again.
Well,
he ain't wrong.
Oh, so you actually agree something about The Rock, Charlie?
Well, like nobody could save that turd, not even The Rock.
You can't polish a turd. I mean, The Rock could have tried, but he decided, nah, we're going to do something different.
Oh, brother. Well, I'm wondering how the United Football League is going to do, but I'm not watching.
Anyway,
the Cowboys on there.
I want to ask how how he's doing. It's been a while since you've been on panel. At least we've been on the panel at the same time.
Well, literally, yeah, I'm doing fine.
That reminds me, if you come this Friday, you'll get to see some gameplay of Princess Peach Showtime.
Oh, I think I have that reaction. I think.
Oh no! What I mean is that we're gonna I'm gonna start some new gameplay of Princess Peach Showtime if you come this Friday.
If I do come, because
oh, that's right, the reaction with Victor. Damn it!
How long the freaking reaction is.
I
don't think the reaction will take too long. I mean, the movie is an hour and 15 minutes, so.
What's the movie again, Ben? I forgot.
Do you really want to know that answer?
Do you really want to know?
Well, I know what the star of the movie is, but I forgot the title. Victor told me.
So here's the backstory to this. I think Jordy can explain it.
Basically, it's all about a big purple dinosaur, and he takes 3 kids out on an adventure. Nothing creepy about it at all. And finds out about an egg which has rainbow colors like it's Pride Month.
Oh, Lord.
And then, after all the colors have shown up, it gets to hatch into a freaking little stuffed animal that we don't ever see again after the movie.
Wow.
The end.
Hey, that would be a great movie. That would be a great movie for Troy to watch. You know.
Oh yeah. Great fucking adventure.
Wait, is Troy even here still?
I'm still here, you schmuck. I was messaging my girl real quick.
Well, I was trying to say you should watch that movie.
What's it called again?
Barney's Grand Adventure.
Oh, okay. Oh, I get what you mean. It's you're bullying Ben again. Oh, okay.
I'm not bullying Ben at nothing.
Okay.
If anything, I was helping Ben and giving a punishment to Victor where it's due because some freaking dingle nut looking turd on the top left corner was freaking abusing a video that was put on here about a couple of weeks ago during the awards while looking at his cell phone for the remainder of the freaking awards show.
Well, wow, David, you schmuck.
Yeah.
Hey, look at me. I am going to go on my cell phone. I'm trying to text with my imaginary girl. Yes,
No,
I'm texting with my imaginary girlfriend, and it's and hopefully she sends me a tip, even though it's not a. Even though it's
I
not
don't
a.
think he even knows that he's been muted.
Well, I was actually really exhausted that day, so that's why.
Well, you should be thanking God, that I didn't go after your ass.
Hey, I was doing the
watching Barney's Grand Adventure, and not Victor.
Episode 359 of 329 of Rant and Rave podcast, the exposure of David St. Dennis.
Hey, I was doing the award show for the people.
The people? Someone say the people?
Hey, people.
The people?
Hold up.
The people.
The people. Hey, Jesse, did you get the
Huh?
Hey Jesse, did you get the link from Jason? I'll send you the link in the private chat.
All right.
Why can I not install this?
Well, actually, Eric, you can send it to me if you want, and I can send it to Chester. So that way we don't interfere.
Yeah, let me.
Yeah. Because I don't want some red bubbles.
Chat only for.
You don't want us to invade the meeting as well.
Yes.
Oh, that's the link. Podcast.
Oh, you did it anyway.
That's for the.
Well.
It's okay.
I meant to.
No. It's okay, Eric.
It's just
you made a mistake, y'all.
Right. I made a mistake, y'all. Sorry. I made a mistake.
I made a mistake. All right. Anyway. So I'll see you guys later.
Yep. Take care, Eric and Chester. Good luck over there. And also,
see ya.
Like I said,
take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the ball game. I like to
Do I actually have a
couple balls because I'm David 3000.
I actually have a. Let me see. I have this. That wasn't the one I was looking for, but anyway.
Mm.
Tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern for the season 2 premiere of the Dog Crew. Where did
Doogout Crew?
Seriously. So stay tuned for that with Eric, Jason, Chester, Joey, and who else is on there?
I think that's it. You
Hey
said
Jordan,
it was
right? Sorry,
DJ
not
Crew.
Jordan. Hey David, Jordan finally got what he wanted. He's on top of me.
I've always been on top. You know that.
Well, yeah, you see my pecs right there. You probably get you aroused right now.
Oh, there. This is the one I was.
Stop mocking me!
Hey, do we want to do one more match question?
Yeah, let's do it before we
David,
end this at the 2-hour mark.
Okay, David, I'm gonna DM it to you.
Okay.
David, we're going for 6 hours. Remember that.
Oh, dude, 6 hours.
You gotta compete with Jordy. You know, you gotta make it. You gotta make it 6 hours and 1 minute.
Yeah, and make sure your mom comes in the room whenever you're doing your outro and scares the shit out of you.
Yeah.
That's what my mom did last week on Friday.
That was hilarious.
It was hilarious. I'm not gonna lie. I even have a clip of it, you know, and I sent it in the film form.
I'm not gonna do 6 hours. I'm sorry. I've done 12 hours once. Anyway.
Well,
I see.
I tried doing 12 hours too, and guess what? We can't go past the 12-hour limit. We can only end it around about 11:55. You know.
All right.
Oh yeah, I remember that. The 12-hour Hangman Outcast. I was so pissed at that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he did it overnight for that one. So that was your
Okay,
decision.
we got one more. We got one more question, guys. So listen to it.
Yeah, before we end this at the 2-hour mark, NBC has announced a new show that will be hosted by Jordy Scow. It's called "So You Think You Can Blink."
Wait, what?
NBC has announced a new show. It's hosted by Jordy Scow. It's called "So You Think You Can
Danny, your
Blink."
mic. Danny, your
Yeah,
mic.
your mic.
No, it's not. Oh my God! There was background music going while we couldn't hear it through your mic. Unmute your mic, asshole!
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Yes,
That's bad,
we can
guys.
hear you. Now, what
I'm
was,
sorry,
what was that show called? I gotta hear it again.
Okay,
was the
NBC
question.
has announced a new show that'll be hosted by Jordy Scow. It's called "So You Think You Can Blink." Okay, now think of your answer, guys.
So you think you can blank? What?
Yeah.
I've never heard of
the show?
this.
You ever heard of the show "So You Think You Can Dance"? Okay.
Wow.
But you're hosting a show called "So You Think You Can Blink." Now, people, write down your answers.
I already wrote down mine.
Okay. Okay, is everyone ready?
David.
Okay, Ben, what's your answer?
Colostomy always.
No, he has to read his answer himself.
Yeah.
Ben, read your answer.
Colostomy bag.
I don't think that's a match. Jordy, you said, what'd you say?
Dance.
Well, that wouldn't make much sense, but because that's the title of the real life show.
Well, it was like you gave out the answer. I was like, you know what? I'll just go with dance.
That's okay. David, what was your answer?
Flip flop.
Flip flop.
Do you think you can football?
All right. Charlie, what's your answer?
So you think you could fuck?
And Nihar?
So you think you can drive?
No, that wasn't any of my answer. I said, so you think you can yell at people on the internet?
Oh. What do you think of that one, Jordy? Because that's what you like to do, you know.
Well, I gotta get my anger out on somebody, and if you're the wrong place at the wrong time, that ain't my fault.
Yeah, you schmook.
You schmook butthole.
Well, at least, it's not somebody saying that. Oh, that never. He got my phone number too.
Mm.
Anyway,
Wah,
Oh,
wah,
then,
wah, wah.
oh, let me get that for you. Oh wait, I switched my microphone. Dang it. Hello there, Mr. Tom Lewis in the chat. Cypress TV. And, check out his YouTube channel, Twitch, whatever social media platforms, and hope he can stream again soon.
He will.
So, does anybody here have anything to promote before we end this off here?
Just tomorrow night for R&R. It's the same time, same start time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, and 5 Pacific. However, Brandon will not be there because he's got PA announcing duties tomorrow. So I'll be taking charge of the, StreamYard and the studio. And yeah, whatever. As for me, this Friday for my channel, Chilling with Jordy, as always, and there will be episode 165, same start time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, and 5 Pacific. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say for my end.
Danny?
Buy my stuff on Redbubble.
Of course. I thought you were gonna say check out Russian Roulette.
Oh, well, that doesn't start until the summer, but we still got.
Wait, Danny, is by the way, Hangman Charlie shirt still up there?
I don't know. It might be.
I go buy my shirt from there, everybody. Support his thing.
Someone who what's the name of the guy who started that phrase?
Dragon.
Yes, he told me he bought the shirt, but then he donated it to a Goodwill.
He needs somebody to know. So, we probably know why.
Wow.
But and of course support my OnlyFans, onlyfans.com/hungchuck and all that good stuff.
Not the Che.
No, that'll be the other one where instead of shooting jizz, I'll shoot electricity on my penis.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's still on there. By the way, Hangman Charlie merch.
All right, good. Go buy it.
Danny, share screen to Danny, please.
U.S. Okay.
Just yeah. Let me.
And go support David St. Cummings on Pornhub and RedTube.
What is the whatever.
The way, Hangman Charlie.
There we go.
There it is. Sorry, you will.
Oh yeah, there you go. Go buy it. Support Danny Lewis by wearing my face on your chest. I'll make a deal with Jordan. I'll buy a Rant Rave shirt if Jordy buys it. By the way, Hangman, one of his chill streams.
Me buying something off of Danny's merch is a day hell freezes over.
Wow.
Oh, come on, man.
Well, you guys gotta work out a deal then for that to be reversed.
Yeah, deal or no deal, you get the gist.
Yeah, it'll be a double whammy for Jordy. You'll have to buy a shirt, a thing from the store, and he'll have to wear my face on his body.
Hey, I'm glad it's not a pit, a bed or a pillow, whatever.
Or a shower curtain.
A penis?
Shower curtain? Never, Danny.
You're trying to say a penis, dude?
No, I was trying to say bed, you smoke.
What?
Anyway, Ben, you have anything to promote? I know you don't really post anything, but
this coming Friday, Victor's gonna have to suffer the punishment, and I'm gonna watch in happiness on Twitch.
Nihar?
Yeah.
Have anything to promote on your end?
How many what?
You have anything to promote? Your projects and anything?
At my per usual, check out Elapsed Beats and Quiet Dreams Hypnosis.
On YouTube? On YouTube, right? Or
yeah,
what?
yeah, YouTube.
Okay. Chari? Oh, is it's already frozen? Oh,
He did promote his stuff anyway.
Well, I'll give him a few minutes to cut back here before. I'll also subscribe to the 3000 newsletter.
That's a newsletter.
I guess that's
I had technical issues.
okay. I was gonna say, do you have anything to promote before we end it?
Me?
Yep.
Well, in all seriousness, this is my channel. Even though, again, I did not I've been posting kind of frequently recently, but again, moments where I post a lot more than moments where I don't post for a couple weeks. So, yeah, go support House of Chate and all that good stuff.
All right. And this is something that hopefully will be in the works. But anyway,
and go subscribe to David St. Cummings OnlyFans because Pornhub won't do it. He'll make it come all night long.
Well, only your dreams in 2034. That way.
Oh my God! Look at Tom's comment.
Wait. Oh my God. To avoid another chart. That's something I agree with, Tom.
Well, there's already another me out there. Maybe other maybe more. I don't know.
Well,
that's why some people need to pull out.
Oh,
hey, Charlie, he had 40 kids, so that's why he had to go to Tijuana.
Anyway, that's gonna be it. Thank you all for watching, and you all take care for now.
Frog Cow!